we're just about to see the return of Snoopy to the jungle in our next match between Evil Geniuses and MYM.
Bienvenidos una vez más. Estamos ahora a punto de volver a ver a Snoopy en la jungla en este siguiente partido que enfrentará a EG, Evil Geniuses, contra MYM Makers.
But before we get to that, we've got some special guests. So let me send you over to D-Man and Freak, who are sitting with N-Rated, and on the Spanish desk, Quentin will have a chat with Mythy.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tenerife for week 6 of the LCS European Summer Split. Joining me, of course, is N-Rated, as you just heard Shock say. The first half of the day, what can we expect from our final 2 games? So, first up, it's going to be EG facing off against MYM Makers. This is a team you are now part of, N-Rated.
Yes, I'm
What are we expecting to see here? Because Snoopy's back in the jungle.
I think we will see a really extraordinary match, at least I hope so. From my point of view, I think right now EG is a little bit stronger. Just team-wise and practice-wise, we put a lot of effort into all matches. We kind of know what MYM plays. We kind of know what to expect, and I just hope we're going to do a really great show for the fans out there. We are by far a really solid lineup, and if they play like I expect them to play, they will win. They will definitely win.
So what is it that you've brought to the camp that they didn't have before? What expertise have you brought in? Now, I know you and Crepo have always been very outspoken about various things, so it was no surprise to me, but obviously the people at home won't really know this.
Okay, first of all, I really like every one of them, and we were good friends, and they respect me as a player and my opinion, so it was really easy for me to come into the team and just bring up my part for it. I came to the team and I just had a different point of view. I came from another team, and those guys were 5 guys playing together for almost over a year. Yeah, like they played together for over a year, so they had kind of the same view on the game, and I just came in and I had a fresh view on the game as well. I'm able to read the game. I just brought up some new stuff on the table that they didn't even think about. Like at this point it was really refreshing for them, and I helped them to find decisions that they can do and rather go for new objectives instead of like stalling games out or trying to get gold advantage only. I think that's really important.
So tell me how practice goes, because you've got not only 2 junglers to swap in and out, but also you're there in a coaching aspect. Do you like say, guys, let's work on this and then let's go play a game, or does the game end, you're like, guys, here's what you should have done, here's some adaptations? How does practice go?
Okay, with the 2 junglers, it's going to be like that. We're going to swap the junglers like over and over again. That means in a week, we possibly take one day, just one jungler, and the other day the other jungle, and according to that, we just have the possibility to play with 2 different jungles, and we stay in shape with 2 jungles. According, like the practice that we put up, I sit behind this, someone, depends who, and I just look how he plays and how they react, and I hear the calls. I'm on TeamSpeak. I don't necessarily call anything myself, but I sit behind and I see how the communication goes, and especially in terms of communication, I can make them step up their game very hard.
In these short few days you've been with the team, have you seen obvious progress from EG?
Yes, I did. A lot.
Would you be able to share any things you guys have improved upon?
For example, I saw communication-wise that they were lacking focus targets, focus calls, so I made sure they understand that this is a really high important point that they need to work on.
Nice.
Well, it's good to see. It's good to see. So, in terms of the league, obviously it's all very close right now. Is there any teams out there that you think they're clearly going to make it to World Finals? Because it seems to me that everyone's beaten everyone. I mean, I'm looking at the win percentages. The highest is Alternate right now at 59% win rate. That's not massive. The lowest at 41% win rate. So there's not a lot of space between these teams. Is there anyone out there that you're saying, okay, these guys are a step above right now, they're just not showing it?
I think no one has an edge on anyone right now in European LCS. They're very clutch. Everyone is close together. You see it in the games that are actually played right now. They're very close together. Every score says that, and I think everyone has a slight advantage in terms of team play against other teams. It depends, teams against teams, just play style wise, you can counter each other. Right now, I think almost any team in European LCS can make it to Worlds if they practice properly and prepare for those matches in the playoffs. It's really important to get first to 6 just to have the spot in the playoffs, but after that you cannot really predict who can go.
Well, we're just 3 weeks left, of course, so we are talking about champions today, so it takes us nicely onto the Twitter question of the day, where we're asking what sort of champions they're expected to see banned out heavily and reasons why. So let's get on to the first one. The first response came from that guy Branch. I expect Elise to be the most banned champion over the next few weeks. picks, as she's a great in team fights and does tons of damage.
Yeah, Elise, a very nice champion. I mean, she offers a lot to the table. She has a lot of burst, a lot of potential. She has max life damage, which means she's scaling really good into late game. She can go tanky, she can offer a lot of CC with Relies or just simply the Cocoon. She's mobile, she can jump the carries in the back line. She can basically disengage herself by rappel up. She has a lot. She has a lot to offer, and I think right now she's probably the most contested hero.
I remember actually, I think it was Taipei Assassins that got shown it when we were there for season 2, and I remember Stanley seeing it and just like, oh my god, I absolutely love this champion.
I actually have a follow-up question for you on the Elise point. How much of champ select goes into the fact that she can jungle or top lane, or is it just she's Elise, she's great, and it's just an added bonus?
That is more of a matchup-wise. I think, like, depending on the enemy jungle, if he mains Elise, it's probably a huge threat and you would ban it. Same for top lane. Like, someone that really mains Elise and has a huge impact with Elise on the game is definitely a threat for any team.
All right, thank you very much. Let's move on to the next question. Tuskalal says Nunu will be banned the most because with Nunu you can control the jungle buffs and deny XP from the enemy jungler.
Nunu has a lot of potential as well. I mean, simply the speed of makes hyper carry just so much stronger. The consume that is going to be nerfed in the next patch 3.9. I think even with those nerfs, he still has so much on the table to do. Those buffs that he gets from the neutral creeps basically help him to do a lot more than other junglers do. He's tanky and he slows. He has a lot of CC, and he simply has the ability to control team fights, which makes him a really extremely strong pick if someone is able to use that kit efficiently.
Okay, the next question, of course, was from Dele Lucian. I think it is Aatrox, because he is one of those champions that can hyper carry a game if he gets an early lead. We've seen Darian running it a few times. It's the second time today. It won't work out from this time, though.
Well, this time it might not have worked. I think the champion overall, the kit is really strong as well. He has a slow, he has a repositioning spell, which is actually a stun as well. And he has a lot of potential. Like, as soon as he gets items and he gets going, I don't see a reason why he would not carry a team. I think the kit itself is strong, but no one has really found the place for Aatrox yet. And I think with some small tweaks in team play and if the way you play him out, I think he can be really strong. Right now, I don't see the presence of him and a necessary ban, but I think he has a lot of spells and a lot of abilities to offer it, simply to make him a hyper carry.
Okay. Yeah, definitely can be very, very strong. We'll see him mature as the season goes on. Next one up, the final hero says Twisted Fate as usual. His global presence can be devastating, especially when top is teleport, complete map control.
TF, what else do you have to say? Because global presence is like unbeatable. His passive gives the gold lead to your team just passive by being there, and he has a stun, he has a lot of poke, he has wave clear, he has a split push ability, he has a global ultimate. Like, the kit itself is really strong, and I think it's a highly contested pick against anyone that mains him. Like, any team that plays TF is a threat if you have TF on your team.
And I believe it's a champion that Morello's already talked about maybe changing, but that's going to be a long way off there yet, so we'll see when that comes out. The ASDPL, I don't know how you meant to pronounce that something, but he says, I expect Corki to have a comeback after his buffs. It helped him out immensely in the laning phase. I'd be surprised to see him banned, though.
Corki against some matchups can be good, against rather passive heroes, and he has a lot of poke to offer for laning phase. I think there is his place, and I see the place definitely going on, but I think overall the kit is not strong enough compared to other hyper carries. He just falls off too hard at a certain point.
And of course, Corki, we saw him for a while. We'll see if he picks up a little bit, but I think you're right. He won't be the sort of mandatory AD carry that we saw him last year. So guys, congratulations to the winners. The guys that we read out there, we're going to send you a Logitech G510S gaming keyboard, and we'll get in contact with you via Twitter. So keep your eye out for @LOL Esports talking to you, because free stuff.
Well, it has been a great day and a great trip, and thank you very much, by the way, Unrated. We didn't say that before we finished off there. We just leave you to it. But it's not over yet, guys, because we've got even more matches to come. A little later, you'll be seeing the co-leaders alternate. They're not co-leaders anymore. They are joint leaders. They are all on their own up the top there, because Gambit lost a game once again. And this time, they're going to try and extract revenge for their last defeat at the hands of the Lemon Dogs. But first, of course, it is going to be Evil Geniuses against Meet Your Makers. They're going to see if they can fight back from last place, and I guess you're going to be hoping they're going to do that as well.
I hope so.
You hope so. Hopefully we are, though, going to go over to Shocks, who will be standing by with the teams in just a moment. Doesn't sound like they're ready yet because I can hear still Spanish going on in my ears, so we get more time to talk to you, which is great. I want to talk about Shaka. That's what I want to talk about. Or not, it seems. I'm not going to get to talk about Shaka. What was it? Straight one-word opinion of him.
Very aggressive, very young, but he will be good.
But he will be good. Let's go over to Shocks, who is standing by with the teams.
Thanks very much. Now, we've already seen some great matches today, and before we go on, I just have one question. ¿Quieren más? All right, let me welcome the next two teams. First off, on the blue side, give it up for Evil Geniuses. And on the red side, keep going for Meet Your Makers. Okay, the players are in place. Let's head over to Joe and Jason for the English stream and Ocho y Quinten for the Spanish.
Thanks a lot, Shocks, and welcome back, ladies and gents, for Game 3 in our final day here in Tenerife. We're about to get into the action as EG take on Meet Your Makers. Everything, as we already know right now in the tables, is ridiculously close, so every game matters as such. Let's get into the lineups here and have a look, first of all, at Evil Geniuses. On the blue side, we have Wicked, Snoopy, Froggen, Yellow Pete, and Crepo.
And of course, on the red side for Meet Your Makers, we're going to have Coupon in that top lane, Makati in the jungle, Charu as the mid laner, and Mackler and Libic as AD carry support.
So the odds are in this game that Charu is going to pick Teleport. We managed to talk to both teams about what the effect one man and his favorite spell can have on the game.
Chizaru pretty much in every single game will run Teleport on whatever mid champion he has.
Teleport is really dangerous spell because if you want to play aggression, I can punish for it.
It's really annoying to play against Teleport. It's always in the back of your mind, I need to watch for this Teleport. And that's one thing that differs him from other players. He's just kind of focused, and it works for them though. It does work for them.
Well, let's have a look at what you guys think these teams are going to be matching up like. Jason, how's the vote looking?
Currently, 65% of the vote is actually in favor of Evil Geniuses, which, with Shaka coming to the team, it seems like there's a new life. We saw Meet Your Makers. They won on day 1, lost on game 2. I'd say it's about right.
Well, let's have a look at the two sides then. Day 1 in Tenerife ended, of course, in 2 very convincing wins for both of these teams, but day 2 saw Evil Genius get taken out by Alternate. Their new jungler was a very big part of that victory on day 1, but today, Snoopy is back for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, Shaka, he did do a good job, but maybe Evil Geniuses is thinking that this aggression won't be an asset against a team like Meet Your Makers. They kind of play a little bit more passive, and as Shaka goes in there with guns blazing, they'll just shoot him down, and that might frustrate him. On the other hand, Snoopy can be as patient as anybody, and they know he can beat Meet Your Makers just like he did last week.
Well, Meet Your Makers on the other side had a massive win against SK on day 1, but fell hard to Fnatic yesterday.
Yeah, they had so many comfort champions. They had Vayne, Orianna, Zyra, but unfortunately, things just really went sour at that level 1 where they lost out on 3 kills. They had the problems of inconsistency in the past, and this game would be massive to add to their wins.
Yeah, as I said before, because the league table right now is so close, every game is so important. It's not, you know, the likes where you look at from last season, for example, Fnatic versus Gambit, that was always going to be a deciding game. Right now, in the summer split, every game could be a possible decider as we move forward. You see that, some of the players on your screen?
And we can look back at this, like, a couple of weeks from now and be like, remember that game back at Tenerife? That could have got them into the playoffs, kind of thing, kind of situation right now.
Yeah, and that's a really exciting thing about the European LCS. And now only 3 weeks to go after this one. There's going to be a super week in there as well, and that's going to be a big test for them. But for now, final day here in Tenerife, 2 more games to go. So now all counts at this point. And there is Snoopy, of course, the man who pretty much said, you know, I go to the subs bench, we'll bring in Shaka, we'll see what we can do with that new jungler. They went 1-for-1 with him, and he's going to come back here against Meet Your Makers. And we should talk about that because MYM themselves have a fairly similar jungler to Snoopy in the form of Makata, and I'm just wondering whether matching that with Snoopy is the best idea, or whether, you know, putting someone so aggressive like Shaka in there might be able to throw MYM off the game, because they were a team who loved the control, and I think Shaka's a man who could possibly break that with his aggression. But we're going to get into the bans and the picks, and they're coming thick and fast, or thick and thin, as some other people like to say. So let's get into them. Shen, Elise, and Vayne banned out here for EG. New, Zach, and, well, the third one's going to come here in a second.
I'm waiting for you to guess it right now. Could be quite a few different champions, obviously. I mean, we know Frogging played a lot of different things like Jace. Still left open right now. We saw him used by Ocelot yesterday, or just earlier today. What am I talking about yesterday? Just in the game previously, and did really well on him, but it's not going to be the final ban.
Twisted Fate will be, though. And Malphite locked in here for Wicked. We saw him yesterday playing that Renekton again. He was practicing that for pretty much the whole day before it, and he said to me, Zach, Renekton, Malphite, my 3 champions right now. Zach, of course, banned out for this one, deciding to go for Malphite as their first pick.
That moment when the enemy team bans out Zach, Renekton, Malphite, what he's going to play is going to blow everyone's mind.
I think the days of just banning out Wicked are a little bit over now, though. That's the problem. You know, it was always ban Irelia against EG, but obviously that's not quite the same anymore. So what are Meet Your Makers going to go for here, first of all? You know, you look at the likes of Elise being banned out, of Shen being banned out. They're 2 champions which Meet Your Makers love to play. Makata with Shen in the jungle. We've seen Kubon in the top lane. Elise, of course, is Kubon's most picked champion in the top lane, so it's going to have to be something different this time around. It seems like they want to get the support in there, and the Lissandra that came through.
Okay, so it looks like Kubon will potentially be playing that Lissandra. Charu has picked Orianna both games over this weekend, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go for that. Oh, I thought that was locked in already. Oh, the color of the screen messed me up. I was like, oh my god, Karma. But no, it doesn't get locked in, but the whole Lissandra Nami combo, it's going to be very interesting to see how that necessarily works out. I mean, obviously, Lissandra can go in, follow that up with that Nami tidal wave, and it kind of keeps you CC'd for quite a while. But I was thinking maybe Evil Geniuses, if you pair Orianna up with Malphite, we've seen how strong that ball delivery system can be. But with Jace left open, Froggen, he's looking for that one.
Yeah, I mean, Anivia and Lux, 2 champions which everyone knows Froggen for. He's not won a single game out of 5 with them. However, Jace he's got a 100% win ratio with, and we've seen in that last game how Ocelot brought Jace to the table. And I was actually talking to Hercubot outside, and he said Ocelot hasn't played Jace in any scrims for about a month. So, you know, that was an interesting fact to come out of the SK camp, but it worked for them. And Froggen is a man who, as I said, 2 games played so far with Jace, won them both. They're going to take Jarvan the 4th as well, which is Snoopy's most picked jungler so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, Jarvan overall is just a very strong jungler. It gives you the opportunity when you're not very aggressive to play aggressive because of the options to go in through different paths, obviously with the flag toss Q combo. I can't remember even the letters they stand for. So he's going to be playing that one. I'm curious to see how well he's going to be ganking, because in terms of other lanes, right now, there's no real CC for him to get like a guaranteed kind of gank off, or how Muchmakers is going to respond to having this Jarvan picked up. And it looks like Charu's going to go for like one of his comfort champions. I mean, Ahri, Orianna, it's going to be one of those 2 usually.
Yeah, you're exactly right with that. I mean, Twisted Fate, Ahri, and Orianna are basically the 3 champions that he's gone to throughout the summer split right now. Seems like it will be that Ahri, and of course running teleport. We heard a little bit about that. Super Saiyan, just annoying to play against. And I can quite well imagine that it is. Makata here hovering over Nautilus, that's another big favorite of his.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I remember back in the promotion tournament, he played a lot of Shen, and then he started bringing Nautilus back to the table, and it really worked out well. But he hasn't done anything in my head that really wows me or amazes me with it. But I'm curious to see if this game he might make that happen, because he has so many different lanes to visit. I mean, you have a Charm out of Ahri, you have the Lockdown out of Lissandra, you have the Bubble out of Nami, not to mention the Speed Up. Like, you pretty much have some guaranteed lanes that you can gank and pull something amazing out of his hat. So I'm going to really want to see how well that works out. Also, Char with the Ahri, the teleport, it can be, yeah, just like you said, very, very annoying. And we've seen him work with that really well. And as you see on EG's side, we already have those champions locked in.
Yeah, Varus and Thresh going to be locked in. So Crepo once again bringing this Thresh to the table, not being super amazing for him, I think we can safely say here in the summer split. Played 5 games, won 2 of them, and similar can be said for Yellow Pete. He's played a lot of Varus, but not really got the win ratio with that one as well. However, you know, we know what those 2 can bring to the table, both in the early and the late game.
Yeah, Crepo, he's not looking like the Thresh Prince like he did last split, and it just kind of, I'm not sure exactly why, but the whole combo they have going on within their team, you know, the Malphite Initiate, follow the Cataclysm, Chain of Corruption, they're not going to be able to escape that one, even throwing the box on top of that. So you're hoping to really control them, really lock them down. The downside is you already have Lissandra and Ari picked. So they're going to be able to escape from you pretty much right away. So it's kind of tough. But if Evil Geniuses gets the ball rolling very early on, if Froggen has the game on this Jace that he's had in the past, then he can completely destroy Chara middle.
And speaking of being able to get away, Tristana locked in here. They were actually hovering over Ezreal for a little while, but Tristana going to come out here for Makler, and that's another champion similar to the Vayne and the Kog'Maw that we used to see him running a lot as more in the last week or so come back into his champion pool as Meet Your Makers have really looked towards late game and how they can control that one. Tristana going to offer similar here.
Yeah, definitely. And not to mention the ultimate on Tristana. You have an escape yourself, but then you have a second one paired in with the explosive shot to knock whoever away, most likely Jace or even Malphite to stop the attack speed slow. But as we already are seeing on both sides right now, so we have a teleport on Meet Your Maker side, we have a teleport on EG side, and Wicked, I still haven't fully figured out his use of teleport. There's like, in my head, there's like two kinds. There's one that likes to be really aggressive early on, likes to provide some ganks, and there's one, the other style is to use it late game, just to kind of go for some split pushing. So, Wicked, I really want to see, how are you going to use this teleport? He's used it over this weekend and done fairly well, but it's going to come down to, like, can you help shut down these other lanes? Can you help get Froggen and Yellow Pete rolling?
Well, one thing that we have to say before we get into this game is happy birthday to Makata. He's actually turning 25 here today. A little bit older than Shaka turned on Thursday. Just a few years difference on that one. Actually, 8 years between them. That sounds pretty incredible, to be honest. But yeah, there's a man on your screen, birthday boy. And a win here today would certainly be a nice present for him.
Yes, it would. And if only his team can help him get that, that'd be like, all right, there's your birthday present. We don't have to buy you anything. We're happy with that one. But he's got a lot of work cut out for him because Evil Geniuses, with Shaka coming to the team, they have a new life within them. And it's all about, can he kind of break their spirits maybe in this game? And with Snoopy in the lineup, I mean, he wants to show everyone that he's still valid. Like, he's still valuable and an asset to Evil Geniuses, and this is his game to prove it.
Yeah, I think there will be a lot of pressure on Snoopy's shoulders. I mean, he's got big, broad Scottish shoulders with a lot of experience behind him. He's no stranger to high-pressure scenarios, but certainly will be feeling it in this one. So we're in-game EG versus Meet Your Makers. Our penultimate game of Week 6 here in Tenerife. Let's see how things are going to go down. And some of the items at the start there, Doran Shield start coming out there for Charu. So he wants to be able to basically protect himself in this early game up against the Jace.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of mid laners building this item as their first kind of thing, just to kind of deal with the early game harass that a lot of AD carries or a lot of range champions can use middle lane. So it's going to work out for him quite well. He's going to build into a little bit of AP after that, obviously, but it's all about that transition. Can you withstand this harass that Froggen can put out against you within the first 6 levels and then be able to turn it around right after that?
So from the early start from this one, it looks like we possibly could be seeing a late invade from EG. Both the duo lane and Wicked are in the bottom side. As I say that, Wicked is actually going to be teleporting back. So we are certainly going to be seeing something a little bit different here, I think, from EG, as Jace is in that top lane right now as well.
Okay, so...
No, he's coming back down.
Yeah,
it's going to be all normal. I'll just take all that back.
It looks like he was just holding on to it for vision right there. Wicked will be going top lane, but with the position of Meet Your Makers, it looks like Tristana and Nami will be his opponent up there, and it's going to be a little bit tough for him to deal with, but I was thinking the same thing. With the ward coverage that Evil Geniuses currently have down, there is a possibility of invading, but it looks like they're not going to go for that. And actually, we're going to see LP and Crepo take these double golems. So we're going to try to get that early level advantage against Koob on bottom and maybe pressure against this. Because if he gets hooked, that's a lot of damage he's going to be forced to take.
Well, Snoopy going to have the help here. That was a little bit early there from Froggen. Not quite timing it down with the shock blast to get the start off, but, you know, it's about style points or something similar to that, possibly. Wicked there just went to the top lane. He's like, nope. Gonna have to walk round from that one, sadly, as Nami in the brush there to give him a bit of harassment. Makata on the other side starting off on his blue buff. Kuban's gonna have to come back here because Makata doesn't want to have to use that smite and go too low with this one. He will hit level 2 with that. So we're gonna get 2v1 lanes here with Tristana Nami against Malphite, who we've just seen there bubbled up, and in that bottom lane, Lissandra versus Varus Thresh.
So looking at how these lanes are kind of going to match up in terms of that top and bottom, I think that Meet Your Makers has the advantage in this situation because just in terms of wave clear, where if you shove a giant wave at Kuban, his Q can just get through every single one of them, do quite a bit of damage, and he should be able to clear the waves with that whole combo that he has with that QW. But Wicked, on the other hand, he can be harassed quite a bit from range by the E out of Tristana, not to mention Nami is using her auto attacks and the bubbles. So I think Evil Geniuses, they kind of want to get out of this laning phase fast, maybe take that turret down relatively quick, or maybe just give Froggen that chance to get really strong.
So Snoopy right now is counter jungling. Not something that we say too often when we talk about Snoopy, that has to be said here. He's going to be smiting away that Wraith, and actually is going to be dropping back down here. So they may end up trying to push this turret for a 3-man gang, because Snoopy comes around in towards his tri-bush.
Oh, this is going to be very bad for Kuban. He's going to have to back away, or he's going to take the death here.
Yeah, they're going to go for this one here. He is only just hit level 2. Will he be able to escape this one? The Ice Claw comes out, but First Blood will already land. Charu tried to get down there with a teleport, but he was just too slow. And that early impact on the game from Snoopy working out brilliantly for EG.
And one thing that was really bad for Charu is the fact that he did go for that, and now he might die here.
Yeah, he needs to be really careful. Look at Snoopy, level 3, gonna slide in there, takes a turret aggro, exhaust goes down, double kill, technically coming out here for Yellow Pete, has to flash away from the turret. I'm not sure if he needed barrier as well after that, but better safe than sorry. 2 kills in less than 2 minutes in this bottom lane. Snoopy doing the work.
And Joe, there's something that we completely forgot about or didn't even mention. The fact of having a competing jungler in your own team might make you play better. It's like, oh, maybe he can teach me something that I didn't know, I can teach him something, and the fact that he's doing good means I have to step up and play well. And right now, with how Snoopy's been going, he's been really stepping up.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, look at traditional sports. The roster is not just the men on the on the field. You know, yeah, a football team that's having 11 guys will often have a 30-man squad, and that's the thing. It's all about competition, not just against opposite numbers, but within the team as well. And this could certainly bring out the best from both Shaka and Snoopy with this arrangement that they've got going on. So far, certainly working out in this game. Snoopy got 2 assists to his name. He's got a level over Makata. Charu's now having problems because he spent time in that bottom lane, died in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Froggen was farming to his heart's content in this mid lane.
And the thing is, Yellow Pete, who we never see get kills early on or never see play super aggressive, has the opportunity to do it now. He has those two kills, he has that Bilgewater Cutlass, and now Kuban sitting at level 2, he's going to be hurting quite a bit. I'm curious, is Snoopy going to gank him even more? As we do see him put a ward down where Makata is going to be walking over. And right now, I mean, EG, they're looking like a completely different team. Just from yesterday, just from Shaka on the team and then having Snoopy in the team, they look like 2 completely different lineups.
And there you see the statistic for Snoopy. Jarvan, the 4-5 picks with a 60% win ratio. I chose to ignore that one.
So bad. 2 different lineups. Duh, they have another guy.
As EG going in there onto that one. Kuban having the protection of Makata, funnily enough, who's got a level on him right now. That's the solo laner who's lower than the jungler here for Meet Your Makers. Certainly not in the best of positions from this start. And we've said it time and time again that the MYM are a team that if they don't get control of a game, more so than other teams, they really struggle when it moves into the mid and late game.
Yeah, they have, and I talked to their manager about that a little bit, and he said they're actually trying to work on changing their strategy up, trying to adapt it a little bit more, because they realize we can't count on this every single time. And, you know, I've seen a little hints here and there of Meet Your Makers doing that, but, you know, 6 weeks in, you got to make that change quick, or you're just not going to be able to get into the playoffs, where Meet Your Makers started off week number 1 in 2nd place and have now fallen down to the bottom.
Snoopy there coming up to this top lane, and well, they actually backed away from that one. He's going to catch sight of Makata here doing those wraiths as he does put the ping down. Not sure that they'd really be able to grab a kill on him, but Kuban in the bottom lane, he is finished off here. Not quite sure if there was a hook involved in that one, just the fact of the positioning. I would assume that Crepo hooked him in there for the kill, and that leaves Yellow Pete at 3-0-0. Got the Cutlass in there, got himself a Doran's play. They're flying high right now.
And the thing is, even with these kills, he's keeping up and surpassing right now Macro and CS, but here comes Snoopy on a Charu.
That one was a little bit strange there. Snoopy actually getting charmed in towards the turret. Didn't quite get the knock up, and Charu was able to back away, but, you know, it's pressure. That's all that they need to be putting down right now. Is, again, Froggen putting damage on Charu. Are they going to go wandering for this one? Look at this bottom lane. The turret is already down to less than half HP. Let's have a look at the mid lane as Charu was just trying to get back. I think Froggen gave him another shock blast there just to stop that one from happening as the first turret of the game goes down. 7.5 minutes in. EG 3-0 up in kills, 10.8 to 7.9 thousand gold. They look like a different team.
With a different lineup. But they do have like a 3,000 gold lead here, 7.5 minutes in. That's such a strong start. And now they're even counter jungling with their bottom lane because of how they set up these lanes. And they're going to take this away, and that's going to hurt Charu even more, who's already having such a tough time.
Well, we know where they're going next here. Meet Your Makers nowhere near the vicinity of Dragon. And EG are going to say thank you very much. That's going to be even more gold for us. And Meet Your Makers can't do a sausage about that one. Top lane, bit of a push coming in there as well. Wicked. That's a very English term,
Yeah,
sorry.
I've never heard of that before.
Wicked in the top lane, 33-9 in the lead. And he's not really doing anything. He's Malphite, he's got a chain vest, and he's just last hitting where he can underneath his turret. Makler himself is ahead in CS, but he's 3 kills behind that of Yellow Pete. So far, the plan working out as EG send their double lane to the middle.
And it looks like Yellow Pete will have his Blade of the Rune King done whenever he does decide to back away. Charo is going to return to lane here, dodge a hook barely, but does have that Phoenix Codex, does have that Doran's Ring, so he has a little bit of ability power. But Makata, he's having a tough time here. He's level 6. I mean, he's trying to farm up red, and not really a lot's happening currently for them.
And look at that. We saw Livic having to come down to defend this middle lane. He knows that Tristan's going to be fine up there at the top and can leave him alone to quite happily farm things away from that stage. So let's have a look at some early items because of this crazy start, less than 10 minutes in with so much happening, we've got some items coming in already. That T already stacking up for Frog, and he's got the Brutalizer in as well, and we can see what that's doing to Charo, who himself, Phoenix Codex, that shield start, got the ring in there as well as the Boots of Speed.
The thing is, look, yeah, so we look at these items, and right now Yellow PE has pretty much 2,000 gold. Yeah, he does have 2,000 gold when he decides to go back with those Boots of Speed. It's really going to help out quite a bit. And you look at the level difference just between these top laners of Wicked. He's level 8 to Kuban, who's level 5. And even in CS, Wicked is actually like right on the heels of Makler in terms of that when he's in a 1v2 lane. That is just ridiculous.
Yeah, crazy, crazy stuff here. As we see lots of wards going down, Meet Your Makers themselves throwing a lot there. They realize that they need to keep control as Wicked here might be in a bit of trouble. He's just going to try and dodge away from the ball as he goes straight in there. Actually uses, in the end, that flash to get away from it. Didn't want to even risk anything in that top lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, didn't have that Unstoppable Force available since he did use it a little bit earlier. But right now, Evil Geniuses, with that first turret down, with that first turret, or Dragon in their favor, they're starting to roam around a little bit. As you're seeing Yellow Pete and Crepo, they're grouping up middle. They want to apply some pressure here, and because of that, Makata, he just has to sit middle and kind of absorb this experience. He cannot gank top lane. He cannot stop Wicked from farming up.
He needs to stay there. There's 4 men coming in from Evil Geniuses. They have to defend this turret. They can't afford to let a mid turret go down this early on. Can see that both Tristana and Nami are coming down from this top side of things. EG going to be pressing on that poke damage already coming out from Jace, causing them a few issues. Now this is a great start for EG. We know them as a team that generally struggle to switch that early game lead to the mid game and finish things off before 45-50 minutes. And I'm wondering if this has changed so much from what we're used to seeing from them, how having the likes of N-Rated in there, he mentioned calls were a big thing that he's changed on his first few days here with a lineup. And the calls from what we can see from the outside so far look great as Charu comes in on the backside with a teleport. Crepo thrashes away as him, he gets charmed in there, but honestly Charu can't do all that much about that one. The hook doesn't quite land onto him, and EG just putting down damage left, right and center with the shock blast with that piercing arrow.
The thing is, you heard Enrita talking earlier when Demon and Freak were interviewing him. He said that he feels really good for this game. He feels very confident that they know what to do to beat them, and EG, they show nothing but that right now, but here comes an engage out of Meet Your Makers, and if anything, that was just a deterrent trying to keep them away from their own turret.
Depth charge, but he can't follow it through. He's already been poked so low here by both Jace and Varus that they may have to just relinquish full control, and there we see it again, Shock Blast going straight through the pack, hitting Kuban, who's already down to half HP, and this is just a matter of time before EG surely siege straight through and take turret number 2.
And the important thing is right now, Evil Geniuses, they're out-leveling MYM. As you do see, the Chain Corruption just barely... Oh, Charo just dodged it pretty much. It wasn't even a miss, it was just Charo being a little bit quicker. But we're seeing EG, they're pretty much higher levels, they're higher farm, they have better items, and with them grouped up like this, Meet Your Makers doesn't have the opportunity to get Kuban farmed up to get some items. They don't have the opportunity for Charo to kind of get ahead at all. And it's such a fantastic job by EG.
Well, as you can see, we do have a small pause from this one. We'll see if we can figure out exactly what the problem seems to be. MYM, admin not really talking to him, so doesn't seem to be a problem there. Seems more likely with Crepo there on the end. Just judging by what we're seeing. Of course, we'll be right on top of this one just to make sure that everything gets fixed up here quickly. And a pause in the game for EG. Probably not what they were wanting, just with the fact that they're doing so well right now. It gives Meteor Makers, a chance to think, not talk, because they're not allowed to actually talk during these pauses. Well, certainly they shouldn't be talking, certainly about the game. I think they're allowed to talk about the weather, but not about the game.
Well, hopefully they're not, because Froggen's probably like had enough with that, with the sunburn that he currently has on him right now. But yeah, I mean, I like how you pointed out, this is not the position EG wants to be in terms of a pause coming out, because the momentum you get, like the opportunity of making it so Meteor Makers can't sit there and regroup and think, what do we need to do next? Now they at least have the opportunity to think about it, and they can talk about it when the game starts back up. So it's a little bit of a hindrance to Evil Geniuses, but maybe on the other side, it gives them that opportunity as well to say, all right, we have a second to slow down. Where do we want to go next?
So it does seem to be with Crepo. Apparently he's got some issues with his game right now. Has already left the game, so he should be coming back in here in just a second. What would it be for an EG game without a pause? Just going to throw that one out there again.
I don't think it would be EG.
I'm not sure what it is that seems to affect them. It's the electricity running through their bodies or something. I don't know what
Maybe
it is.
the game's like, whoa, we're not used to EG being this far ahead this early on. We need to, something's got to be wrong.
Let's do a pause. But no, obviously they just seem to be a little bit unlucky on that front, but they're on top of it. Crepo is reconnecting to the game, so we should be getting things back underway. Gives us a little bit of time to retake stock of the game, and I'll run you through that here with the goal first of all. 4,000 that they have in the lead at 12 minutes 11 seconds in, 3-0 in kills, 1-0 up in turrets. That may well be 2 here shortly. Of course, they were sieging up on the outer middle turret.
I'm trying to think back. What initially caused all this to break out? And obviously, most people say, oh, Snoopy, he ganked bottom, got 2 kills. But the one thing that I noticed right off the bat was, remember Makati was taking his blue buff, Kuban came up, helped him out obviously in the beginning, then he went to lane, and then he's like, wait, I need to go back and help him more. So he went back, helped him even more. And the thing was, Snoopy had both his buffs and was already in position to gank by the time Makati got his red buff. And I'm not sure exactly what kind of caused that in the beginning, because Makati was very slow with his blue, but that is really unfortunate, and that kind of might have been the catalyst to this whole thing, because he might have gone bottom and just to make sure to protect Kuban, and in the end it might have just snowballed out of their favor.
Well, we can look at it a different way as well. The fact that Kuban left, came back to help out with the blue because he realized that Makati was maybe getting a bit low for the rest of his path on that first run. And with that, Kuban actually got to the lane later, didn't hit level 2 until Snoopy was right on top of him. You saw him try to get out with the claw, but it was too late. If he'd have hit level 2 a little bit earlier than that, he would have had the claw still available.
Yeah, very true. And I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's how intricate this game can be just from the get-go. One smallest thing, like the butterfly effect, can set off an entire chain of events that can put you behind or obviously put you ahead, which currently Evil Geniuses are right now. And I gotta give him credit. I mean, we never see dives like that. And it was funny because we talked to Froggen when we first got here, and he said, we were like, tell us about Shocker. And he says, he dives. He actually bought him goggles at the mall the other day to give to him as a present, like, welcome into the team, because he likes to dive quite a bit. And Snoopy kind of took a page out of his book.
Did you get goggles as well?
There were pink goggles. Froggen didn't get any, though.
That would be, I think Froggen should have picked up some sunscreen while they were at it there as well. You see the EG guys there. Spirits seem high in the team, that's for sure. The Wicked.
He's not doing his drumming that he normally does.
Yeah, he's usually drumming, impatient to get things back underway. Apparently Crepo is now reconnecting to the game once again, so we shouldn't be too far away from going live once again here in our 3rd game of the day.
Yeah, and I mean, we still have another game coming up right after this. Of course, it will be Alternate versus Lemon Dogs. And with Alternate at the top of the table, well, not top of the table anymore, but with Lemon Dogs approaching the top of the table, it's such a big game for them to win when the standings are still this close currently.
Yeah, the strange thing is, and probably the great thing here as well, is that if these games go a certain way, we could have a 5-team tie at the top of the league. Like, that is strange. Five out of 8 teams at the top of the table.
You imagine it shouldn't happen, but that's just how good each team is. That's how each day can really affect how you play in terms of one day you can beat a team that you normally couldn't beat or whatever. But looks like the game...
It could only be a 4-team tie now because NIP, of course, lost their last game. They were the one cog in this whole thing that could have made it 5. So 4 teams. I'll be corrected on that one as we go through the day. But we are back in game. And as we can see, Evil Geniuses still hanging around here. for this middle outer turret. They're just ignoring the other lanes. Let's take mid.
Yeah, and they should have taken it for free because remember, Mikata, he used his depth charge a little bit earlier on. I believe it's still on cooldown, even though you see it off cooldown currently. But actually, it might be up either way. I'm pretty sure it is on cooldown currently, though. But anyways, so Evil Geniuses, after taking the blue buff away from Nature Makers, they're actually heading bottom right now, and they might be able to get an inner turret. They're setting up to pretty much stop this wave from coming and to go for a push here.
So some of the differences that we've seen from other teams, they've given up early turrets, but on the other side of things, they've been able to pick up kills or get in there for dragons as well, and that's what's kept these games equal. Right now, EG have the turrets, they have the dragons, and they have the kills.
Yeah, that was the problem Levendogs had versus Gambit. That was the problem NIP had versus SK, is they can take those turrets, but what do you do after that? And if you don't keep that aggression rolling, if you don't keep that pressure, if you take your foot off the pedal for 1 second, the other team finally gets their hand in the crack to really kind of get their grip.
Wicked right now is up in this top lane. Is Charu gonna come across here? Is he gonna go for the charm on this one? Wicked is, I don't know, he's got that Giant's belt in there, he's got boots of speed. I don't see Charu being able to really lock him down from that one, and as such, just lets him walk away from that. Not easy to remove the rock from the top lane.
Yeah, especially without an ignite. I mean, you kind of need that to kill a Malphite, and he obviously doesn't have the damage just yet, but he does have Sork boots, so he has a little bit of penetration, but Evil Genius says, where are they going to go after this? They just got all this aggression, they get all of this gold, they have quite a few items completed with the mana immune done for Frog, and his damage is really going to be amplified quite soon. And it looks like Nature Makers, they kind of want to set up for Dragon here.
5 seconds for Dragon to come up. EG have taken the last couple, but MYM signaling here that they actually want to get in there for this one, but it didn't quite work out for them in the end. We see them putting some wards there and actually backing away from that. And I don't think they can really challenge. I mean, we've got Yellow Pete, who's already got that Blade of the Ruin King in there, finishes a Sunfire Cape on Wicked. There's that Man Immune already done for Froggen as well. And I don't think they can actually compete with them right now if it were to come to a 5-on-5 encounter down by the Dragon.
The thing is, Avaris, even if you didn't have 3 kills over this Tristana right now, would be stronger. So you do see a pole land onto Makata right here, and they're actually going to go in for it.
Chain of Corruption coming in there as well. Makata's a dead man. Snoopy will pick up that one, and they are going to go back towards the Dragon. I can assure you it is there, and that'll be finished off here in just a little while, and that's going to bring EG's lead even bigger at this point. Charu is pushing the top lane. There's the Dragon, he's back, and he's going to get smited down. That will be 21 to 16,500 gold. Charu did take that turret.
Yeah, so he's got something out of nothing here, and Charu actually needs to be a little bit careful. He just has his ultimate, does have his flash, so he should be able to escape this.
Yeah, no real problem for him. Wicked, I think, was just trying to bully him around a bit as Kubon. Half health taken there from the Shock Blast from Wicked. That is dangerous times for Kubon, who is behind. Triple Doran's Ring, that's a telltale sign that he's struggling right now.
Exactly, and it's definitely not something you want to build. You need to go towards those bigger items, especially that Zhonya's, when you're not the initiate for your team, but you're pretty damn close to it for him, and you kind of need the backup of your team. But then again, to me, like Lissandra, once she falls behind, if she can't all of a sudden just spike up and farm, she kind of stays behind. The Tristana I was trying to touch on earlier is that even without these 3 kills, Yellow Pete would still be stronger than Tristana at this point in the game, just because Varus does more damage in this Trist, but can't compete, obviously, as the game goes into that late game phase.
He's going to try, though, at 3-0-1 if those kills keep racking up for him. Makler heading the CS ever so slightly. Got himself that BF Sword and a Vamp Scepter in there, as Froggen will once again be getting this blue buff. So, 16.5 minutes, let's call it, into this game. We can see a lot of wards down still. A couple of pinks from EG on the bottom side. Crepo, you just saw him putting some down around that Baron area as well. And right now, Yellow Pete and Charu going head-to-head. Piercing Arrow did connect onto Charu there and took him low, but using his ultimate to just dash away from any danger.
Still ultimate down for him. Yellow Pete, his was just coming up. He didn't even get to use it right there. And they're going to go back to pushing bottom. They're going for like a tri-lane split, or a tri-lane push here, as they just have Snoopy Frog in middle. They have, obviously, as you see, Yellow Pete and Crepo bottom, and then Wicked, who is a big rock, can't be moved in that top lane.
And he's trudging his way down. I always find that Malphite walks a little bit like Wicked as well. Got this kind of swag thing going on.
He looks like he's out of control of his arms.
The beast of a man that he is. And he's just going to go like I said, trotting on down to the bottom lane. Inner turret going to be taking some pressure. There's actually 2 waves of minions coming up from this one as that piercing arrow just clips Charu on his way away from that one. As here comes the chain of corruption. Snoopy diving into the middle. The boxer's down. Wicked gets one. Oh, what a cataclysm. Makata does manage to get himself out. Kuban trapped in there. Froggen going to go down. So that's a 1-for-1 right now. EG decide to disengage and get out.
Yeah, that was all Lipic right there. With the cataclysm coming in from Snoopy, he knocked them pretty much all up and pretty much stopped that engage from keeping to get out of their hands, and that's exactly what they needed. They defended the turret, they got 1 kill, they're starting to claw their way back in a little bit, and then more importantly, that kill went over to Kuban, who needed it desperately.
Yeah, and they need more kills right now. That's the thing. Like, just these 1-for-1 trades is something that Meteor Makers probably not unhappy about, depending on obviously where they're getting spread around. As we said, Kuban fell behind early on, died twice early on after that level 3 kill, and the kill straight afterwards from Yellow Pete and Crepo teaming up there, forced to go into that triple Doran's ring. So any extra cash that he can get at this stage of the game is a massive help to him.
Yeah, and the problem is that I don't think, unless Evil Geniuses makes a big mistake in terms of just gets caught out by, or one person gets caught out completely, I don't think Meechmakers can really get these kills in a 5-on-5 fight as long as Evil Geniuses plays the fight how they want to. But then again, I mean, anything can really happen. We've seen some big plays come out of both teams here, and Froggen, he's trying to go for Charu. I don't know if he can pick up the kill, since Charu does have his ultimate available.
Oh, he's going to burst him down to 1/3 of his health. There is the ultimate use, but Froggen's going to have that acceleration gate up soon here. We see Charu go over the side, not quite landing that shock blast. That may just throw Froggen off here in terms of positioning. Yep. That sneaky fox, being as sneaky as a fox as you'd expect, getting around, and Froggen just headed back from that one. Charu does escape with his life, but you see the danger there. Massive burst. EG now going in for another turret.
Yeah, the damage is done. They got him out of lane, but still in the meantime, Mackler, he's pushing middle right here, and they're pretty much making Evil Geniuses trade 1-for-1 in turrets. We do have a teleport coming in from Wicked. He's trying to get behind someone, and he actually, I don't think he was spotted as pings are coming down onto him, but they're not stopping. They're going for this turret as well.
Mackler's taken the outer middle turret, but he's going to have to move here because they need to try and defend the inner turret on that top lane. They've actually backed off knowing that Mackler isn't going to be there anytime soon. EG will take this one. Can't really call it for free because they've lost their outer middle turret as well, as MYM just sit on the steps, and they're going to ping down because Mackler's still going.
And he doesn't really have any items built up, but still, you see the damage coming out of that Tristan, taking it down to about half health here. Evil Geniuses, actually, we do see pings from Meteor Makers going on in Baron, not sure exactly where EG is going, and you can tell just from the ward coverage that EG has in the jungle of Meteor Makers on that top side, where MYM, they boarded bottom just to stop that push onto the bottom inner turret, but then Evil Geniuses said, hey, we'll just switch it up, we'll go top lane, and you won't really have anything prepared for that.
So, Muramana is now stacked up for Wicked. That's 20 minutes into the game right now. Not for Wicked, sorry, for Froggen. Wicked got that Negatron cloak, because I was kind of looking looking at 2 places at once, threw my brain off. And that will be turned into a Spirit Visage on this trip home. And we can compare him with Kuban, 125 to 83 CS. That is phenomenal from Wicked.
Yeah, I think the problem is that we can't really compare them because Wicked's so far ahead at this point. And the thing is, we saw Wicked, I believe it was in day number 1, when he outfarmed his top laner quite heavily. He had the highest CS in the game in that one, and he's been doing a phenomenal job, even though he's made it very vocal that he doesn't, he plays Malphite to go with the team composition of Evil Geniuses, but he's really been practicing it quite a bit, and he's been doing phenomenally with it.
And that's the thing, it's not always the champion that you maybe enjoy playing the most that fits best to your team composition. Sometimes you got to take one for the team. We can see there 75% pick and win ratio, or kicks and win ratio, as we are actually showing you. But EG now coming down towards Dragon, which is now going to be live. Although, Meteor Makers, they're coming in as well. They might want to challenge here.
And this is going to be a very deciding move for MYM if they do end up going for this. Like, this could be a huge comeback for them, or it could be the huge downfall that might end up losing them this game, because they don't want to get engaged upon. And the thing is, Wicked, he has his ultimate available. You look at where Yellow Pete is on the other side of that Dragon Pit. He's trying to get positioned to make a Chain of Corruption land. Crepo, if you land the hook on anyone, you know you can blow them up, as long as Froggen comes down to help.
He's just pushing that wave out. He doesn't want anything going back onto their side of the map. And it's just a case of who makes a false move here. It's probably going to be a false move. Charu's actually gone, and EG are saying, look guys, they've pushed down to the middle lane. We've complete control of the jungle right now. We've got a positional advantage. Let's go for it.
Yeah, and they should be able to take this. Krepo's actually still behind them right now, clearing out some wards just to make it so Charu can't teleport in behind him. But here comes Meet Your Makers, and EG, they just disengage.
They went in for Krepo there. They're going to come in a bit split from this one. Varus and Jace are in the wrong position for this fight. Wicked, though, right at the front of them. We see Froggen going on towards Libic. There's a chain of corruption coming onto Makata. Froggen flashes away. Krepo getting caught here by Charu, but he lands the hook. That is a dead Charu right now. As Snoopy turns off the Cataclysm, and they turn and burn and try and pick up Meet Your Makers.
And right now, Charu's used 3 of his 9 lives, and they're going to push onto this turret. The thing is, he's behind. He's a little bit behind. His items are really strong right now because he has that DFG, but him alone cannot burst anyone down. He needs the help of Kuban. He needs that control of Kuban that he provides into these fights, as well as Libic. And right now, Evil Genius is looking very strong to take an inhibitor turret at 22.5 minutes, or 23 minutes.
Yeah, and Libic is dead. He's just got hooked in there. Froggen dives in on top of him. This inhib turret is a goner. There's no way they're saving that one. EG do decide to back off as they throw another shock blast out there. And I hate to break it to you, Jason, but it's cats that have 9 lives. Ari has 9 tails.
That is true. Thank you, Joe, for that I was going to say history lesson. I'm like, wait, that's not right. But anyways, Evil Geniuses, they're going to go for Dragon right off of that. That will be the 3rd of their game, and they're going to be back with quite a bit of gold. I mean, Froggen, 2,000 gold. You see Snoopy, 1,200 gold. You look at Yellow Pete, 1,400 gold, and even Krepo sitting on, well, he was sitting on 1,000 gold as he already bought up some items here, and they're only going to come back even stronger, and they have an open inhibitor to contest.
Yellow Pete going to get himself some extra farm down here at the bottom. 2 last whispers in there. We can say what armor when we talk about that. Yeah, this is dangerous for Yellow Pete. Actually manages to avoid quite a lot as the DFG comes down. Yellow Pete trying his best. He's already used that barrier. Charu actually underneath the tower, and look at the damage he's managed to do on them. Snoopy comes in but can't quite finish off. Not got the damage for that. And Yellow Pete, I tell you what, 2v1 there against Alessandra and an Ari with a DFG. He actually did really well.
I think if his ultimate was available at that time, because it came up right as he died, he would have actually won that. But now Mackler going head-to-head against Froggen here.
Yeah, and Mackler is going to use his barrier from this one. Froggen going low, but he's surviving the minions here, hammering on him. But he is going to stay alive from that one he had. Well, he's got 30 HP right now, so it must have been down to about 15 after that fight. Very, very close encounter.
That Doran's blade and 6% life still saved his life. Great job by him. Just keep attacking. And Mackler, though, he has a lot of CS, 186 right now, pretty much even with Froggen, but he doesn't have the same score as him, and he was still almost able to kill Froggen. That just shows how strong Mackler is as a player. I mean, he flashed out of that shock blast and how strong his champion currently is.
So, things going to calm down here for a second. I mean, an action-packed first 25 minutes, 8-2 in kills, approaching 10,000 gold lead right now. They're about 300-400 gold off of that that mark right now, as Froggen here is going to spot himself a Kuban. Is he going to go for this one? Not many people there. I think he's pinging there to Krepo to check with wards that if anyone's actually around that corner, and here is Kuban. He's recalling, but he's not. Oh, he's missed the shock blast. He's going to get locked down as well, and Froggen, he's going to feel that he's made a bit of a dirt from that one, but Wicked won't make the same mistake, and Froggen's second shock blast hits the mark. Here come the rest of Meet Your Makers, though, but it's only Wicked caught out of position, and he doesn't care. EG are at the backside here. Are they going to go for the fight? The tidal wave comes across. Wicked is going to go down. Krepo starts to walk away as the shock blast forces Meet Your Makers off, and that ends in a 1-for-1.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for them, but Yellow Pete was bottom. He was pushing this lane up. If he was there, they could have won that fight pretty easily, but he should be able to take this bottom inner turret and give them a little bit of extra gold, so that one death that Wicked took for the team is going to end up working out for them.
And that's why I think EG stood there but didn't really do too much whilst Wicked was being hammered away on. They wanted to make sure that Meet Your Makers stayed away from this bottom lane as quickly as possible. They were kind of like, do we do damage? Do we run away from this one? But they stuck there. They stopped Meet Your Makers from being able to instantly recall after that one and stop it. Pete doing quite a good bit of damage down onto that bottom turret. And here comes Froggen once again. Rest of EG are there. Makata caught in the middle of no man's land. He's flung around all over the place. Snoopy finishes off. Here comes Wicked with the teleport as well.
I think for the entirety of that he was alive right there, he didn't have control of his champion for half a second or even quarter of a second. And with that kill, they're going to go in for this inhibitor.
And I can't really see Meet Your Makers being able to hold on to it either. You can see how fast it's going down with Yellow Pete and Froggen hammering away on that one, and that is the first inhib of the game. 26 minutes, 45 seconds in, and there is that 10,000 gold lead coming out for Evil Geniuses.
And now, what's the next move for them? They have the Baron as a very high potential. I don't believe they actually have an Oracle on them currently. Yes, Crepo actually does, so I'm wrong on that one, but they could actually bait MYM into going towards Baron and picking up a kill here. They're all set up for it perfectly. Charo, look at him. He's actually like suspecting this is going to happen. He's setting up towards that top side in that bush, trying to watch out for it. And right now, Livic not actually going to spot them. I think he did see them as they left the bush, but that was very close.
Oh, Shock Blast coming through there onto Makata. Wicked and Co get back into the brush. They may very well go for this one. Yellow Pete getting a little bit caught out, gets bubbled. Actually getting ulted here as well. He's in a lot of trouble, but he's still alive, crucially. He's at the back and he's going to be hammering in there. There's the shutdown onto Snoopy, but the rest of them might be in trouble. Box down from Crepo. Froggen is still going in. He goes forward. Libic on this one, who's low. Hit there with a piercing arrow. Froggen now unstoppable. He thought about going for Mackler as well, but then came to his senses. EG back off, and like you said, they could have Baron here.
Yeah, and I mean, they have easily the opportunity to take it with Makati down, with Kuban down, with Libic down. They easily can go for it, but they're going to take the safe route. They're going to bag, they're going to go buy up because they have a lot of gold to spend.
They don't need it right now. That's the thing. It would be a nice thing to have in there without a shadow of a doubt, but a necessity here? Probably not, as we see some big items coming in. Runic Bulwark for Snoopy. Locket of the Iron Solari, picked up by Crepos. A few pink wards coming out there. There is the Cutlass for Jace here as well for Frog, and there was a pickaxe picked up as well for Yellow Pete. He's headed straight up towards the Infinity Edge.
And you look over at both these sides in terms of the 80 carries. Yellow Pete compared to Mackler. You have 2 completed items, almost a third with an Infinity Edge as his next item for Yellow Pete, and then Mackler, all he has is that IE. That just shows like how much Yellow Pete's been farming, even though he's down quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit, not that much, but he's been around the map. He has 3 kills, has 6 assists. They have 3 dragons behind them, and they've been just pretty much storing up this gold, using it to their advantage. And right now, EG, just like I said, they're like, we don't need Baron. They're looking for another fight.
They are looking for a fight, and rightly so. Is Snoopy going to catch Mackler out here? Of course, he does have that rocket jump. Probably just going to save it for as long as he can as a piercing arrow comes through. Time to jump, my friend. He does go out. There is the unstoppable force right on the turret. Froggen from the side, securing the kill from distance with his Shock Blast.
That's Sniper right there. I mean, showing why he is 100% win rate on Jace, 2 out of 2 games, sitting at 6-1 and 3 right now. His items are ridiculous. No one can really withstand that damage. And right now, Evil Jace is going to push for this inner turret. They can push for the next one because they have super minions pushing that middle lane.
And they do decide to back off. There's another dragon opportunity for them. And are going to be making sure that they pick up that gold. No chances here for Meet Your Makers. That's what it is all about here. Okay, they probably don't need a dragon at this stage of the game, but better to have it themselves than it to go over the other side. Finished off with ease, and they're going to back off once again. I'm guessing they're sat on another good chunk of gold to spend 1,800 for Froggen, 1,300 for Wicked. There's a good 8,900 in there for Yellow Pete as well, so all valuable items going to be coming up once again here. Lots of boots and mobility all over there. And a Shirelia's coming out for Wicked.
Yeah, for Wicked, I'm kind of confused by that one. I mean, I can see how it's obviously going to work out. That cooldown reduction with the Spirit Visage is going to help, so he can use his ultimate a lot more. And also gives that extra bit of speed just for that engaged, since that Unstoppable Force is really such a high impact ultimate for their team right now, just to set up the entirety of that fight. And right now, Evil Geniuses looks like they're just going to push out their lanes and then group up for another fight, or group up for a push here, or maybe even towards a Baron, which they currently set out, or maybe just denying the vision. Maybe they just want to make Meet Your Makers have to check this and then force them into a fight.
Well, that's the thing right now. If EG end up luring MYM in, it's going to be very hard for Meet Your Makers to turn and run from it. 2 Blade of the Ruin Kings in there. The Shirelias as well for Evil Geniuses. You don't escape from that.
And the Acceleration Gate on Jace.
And the Acceleration Gate, yeah, that's without even going into the spell that's going to give them a massive speed boost as well.
And yeah, you're exactly right. And MYM, they're pretty much stuck. Like, what's the least bad decision we can make right now in terms of, do we leave the base to go look for Baron? Do we start face checking bushes and potentially walk into an entire team of Evil Geniuses? And EG know this. They're using this to their advantage. They're taking away everything they possibly can from Meet Your Makers, and looks like MYM, this is their move right here.
Well, Makata starts to come through. He's got a ward down, and look at that. Crepo's actually right in the middle of them here. Snoopy going to dive in there as well. Box goes down. They've killed off Kuban. Charu is going very low from this one as well, and it looks like Meet Your Makers could well start to clear things things up. Libic will die. Makler being focused here as he gets slowed down by the annoyance that is that Malphite. Goes inside the brush, not gonna matter. Yellow Pete finishes that off. That's 4 kills for EG, losing just the support.
And they still have 30 seconds on pretty much everyone for MYM. They can go for the final push here, and it looks like they're gonna do it. They're starting to group up for this inhibitor. That's going to go down. They still have 2 super minions with them. They can tank those turrets, and they can finish this game right now,
They can win the game right now. Makata's got 10 seconds. The AD carry not coming up for 30. Charu's pushing the top lane. I think they realize that this one is going to be over as Evil Genius has pushed through here. The Nexus is going to fall, and they take down Meet Your Makers, looking like a completely different team to what we're used to seeing out of them. That introduction of Shaka and then Rated to, really back things up from the analysis side of things seems to have worked wonders for EG.
And Joe, now another team making a roster change, even though it's not like a permanent one, it's just the way they trade out, still worked out wonders for them. It's something about that happening, and I believe SK is the only team right now who hasn't made that happen. Actually, no, even Meet Your Makers, but Evil Genius is looking completely different. Shaker's showing that even if he's not playing the game, just the presence of him makes everyone else on the team play better.
Yeah, and Snoopy, I've not seen him that happy for a long time there. We said at the start, a lot of pressure on his shoulders after Shaka has played the first 2 games of this weekend, but he played a 3-1-12 job in the 4th at the end of that one, starting the ball rolling with that presence down in the bottom lane as well. So let's head over to Demon and Freak to break down what was a brilliant game from EG.
Thank you very much, Joe and Jason, and a brilliant game it was indeed. Very one-sided, it has to be said, though, for Evil Geniuses. They really took control early on, and actually you saw just the cheering at the end there with the players getting high-fiving. Everybody went to Crepo. They felt Crepo put in a monster performance there. So many times he landed hooks that pulled out vital kills.
It was really impressive. The game would make a bad coin. It was EG heads up the entire time, a one-sided game, as you said. So, and honestly, it was a team performance. Snoopy really snowballed the game ahead as well. He ganked the bottom lane twice without even leaving it. And counter dug right before it. It was funny because they traded buffs around, and he's like, I'm going to steal your wolves, and I'm going to kill Kuban in the top lane, and then Char's going to show up, and I'm just going to kill him as well. And Yellow Pete got huge. Of course, the flays and hooks landing there from Crepo as well. When you've got a snowballed AD carry, that makes it kind of rough to deal with that lineup. And you saw EG just turned the screws that whole game.
And Frog, and eventually on Jace, he's going to become a monster. And
exactly.
It seemed to work out very well. I would say there was 2 kills secured by Cataclysm from Snoopy. I thought, he's padding his stats a little bit here, just saying, guys, don't forget me. I'm still here. I'm still pretty good.
And if you actually kind of spread out kills, that's actually a good thing to do on champions like junglers who don't get quite as much farm as the carry lanes. It allows them to finish the Spirit of the Ancient Golem or finish a Runic Bulwark earlier on, and that allows you to actually get into team fights and be like, look, we're too tanky for you to deal with, really. And that's actually what happened in some of these fights where because MYM had so little farm, whereas EG had a lot, even when people got to the back line, there was no assassination. You saw actually the 1v2 that Yellow Pete had against Charu and Kuban, I think it was, held on for a very long time.
He nearly killed one of them, If he'd have had Chain of Corruption available, his ulti was down at the time, I think he may well have got it 1 or maybe 2.
Yeah, wasn't able to use Ruin King, and if either of those got to be used, it probably would have been enough. So again, getting a farm team, getting a team that's ahead, lets you take a lot of battles like that.
So let's go and look at this replay, because this was really all about Wicked and Snoopy completely controlling Charu. He kept him out of the fight.
Yeah, so you're going to see the engage on a Yellow Pete, and we talked about being a fed AD carry. Yellow Pete's level 14. Look at the levels here from the rest of the team. Charu's 15. The rest are lower than that. So Yellow Pete actually is able to keep himself alive because it's Makata and Kuban who dive him. And Kuban, by the way, only has Zhonya's Hourglass, so it's actually low AP. So we'll start the fight out. Yellow Pete gets caught out, but watch. The rest of the team can't follow up. There's the rest of the team. Wicked jumps up, locks up Charu, and Makata's on the other side of the wall. So is Libic right here. So watch Yellow Pete. Oh, he's safe, by the way. Zonias gets used, puts on Chain of Corruption, walks back out, has the acceleration gate here as well. Libic tries to help, doesn't matter. Look back at the front. All right, well, the jungler just tanked all the damage. Makler got a little bit of gold, not a big deal there. And then everyone who dived just got picked apart. Yellow Pete's still alive, still has lifesteal, and they chase down. And they're going to get the rest, at least one more kill here, and snowball the game forward as Libet gets crushed out. Froggen makes that one happen, but that's basically a gold lead and a well-positioned fight there for Evil Geniuses.
And it was pretty much, I guess you could say, almost the perfect game for Evil Geniuses. We saw it yesterday with SK as well. Actually, we saw it in the SK game that we cast earlier today as well, how well they managed to drive it through. And suddenly we're seeing SK and EG both turning around 2 great wins.
They've had a 2-1 week. Going from the bottom of the standings, going 2-1, gets you up there, gets you close to where you want to be, and they're very close to challenging first place.
Well, talking about the man that padded his stats, it is going to be Snoopy. He's standing by with Shocks on the stage.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Snoopy, on that victory. Good play from you. It must have been an evil but genius move to have now double junglers on the team. Sorry for that pun. Freak is rubbing off on me. But anyway, how much pressure does it put on you that you're interchangeable in a team as you have 2 junglers, one in the sub position, and how do you deal with that?
Antes de nada, muchísimas felicidades por haber ganado esta partida. La pregunta viene a ser el hecho de que haya 2 junglas en tu equipo, ¿cómo hace eso? ¿Tienes algún tipo de presión por el hecho de que se te pueda reemplazar en un partido u otro?
I would say it's quite a bit of pressure. You always want to perform. It makes you know that someone always can step into your spot and take that away from you. But you have to realize that Shaker, for example, has a stronger early game, whereas I have a stronger mid to late game. And coming into the game against MYM, I wanted to take we want a late game approach, but just so worked out, we actually had a really, really strong early game this game as well.
All right.
Sí que es verdad que ejerce algún tipo de presión el hecho de tener a otra persona y saber que además te puede reemplazar, pero sí que es verdad que hay que digamos, lidiar con esto. Pues Shaker en este caso es un jugador muy bueno en el early, pero sí que es verdad que contra equipos como MYM a veces él siente que debería haber un líder y por tanto a veces se puede mover por ahí.
So maybe some people were surprised that you stepped in here again this weekend. So how does the team come to that decision? Who will play when?
Bueno, está preguntando que ¿cuándo toma el equipo la decisión de elegir a qué jungla en las partidas?
Well, as I was saying, against a team like MYM, we're looking more for a late game comp. We didn't really think we could win the early really, really hard. That's why I stepped in, because I have a bit more experience. I've played against MYM a lot, and I've been with the team for almost 2 years now, so I had a lot more experience going into a mid to late game. It's where Shaker struggles a little bit, and that's why we put me in.
Pues realmente la decisión suele ir para ver a cómo quieren enfocar la partida, hacia mid o late game, como por ejemplo contra MYM, en el cual él además se siente muy experimentado el jugar contra ellos, además conoce muy bien a su equipo, pero por el contrario Shaker es un jugador muy de early y por tanto puede avanzar mucho contra algunos equipos que podría a lo mejor fallarles este tipo de estrategia.
So how was the experience playing here on the stage in front of the Spanish crowd? Is there anything you want to say to them?
¿Algo que quieras decirle a esta comunidad en España?
Gracias a todos.
Anything else, or?
It's been absolutely awesome in Tenerife, actually. It's an amazing venue. I love the sun. I'm Scottish, so I really don't deal with the sun that well, and I've got burned quite badly over the last couple of days, but it's been a real pleasure to come out here to Spain. I hope we come out here again.
Thank you very much.
Ok, pues básicamente dice que esto le ha encantado, le encanta muchísimo el público que hay, le encanta el sol, aunque sea escocés, se quema muy fácilmente, pero le ha gustado y que espera estar aquí alguna otra vez.
Thank you very much. Now things are getting pretty crowded at the top of the standings. Can Alternate break away and leave Spain as the league's sole leader, or will Lemon Dogs join for first place? It all depends on who wins our last game of the day and the weekend after the break.